What is going on, fight fans? What an amazing night of fights from top to bottom. Showtime's technical swan song, because although they'll do the Canelo fights only because of the deal that they have with Canelo, where they invested in Canelo Alvarez, this was technically their last fight ever for Showtime Boxing. So they won't produce any more new fights, and they'll just close out with the Canelo fights because of that partnership that they have for the 3-fight deal. But boy, oh boy, was it amazing. The Matias fight, him just weathering the storm for the first round and second round up until the last few seconds of the second round, and then never relenting, just constant attack to gain the victory was amazing. Lamont Roach with the upset against Hector Garcia, right? Dropping Hector Garcia in the last round that clinched the win for him. Unbelievable. Jamal Charlo coming out of nowhere to show that, yeah, there's baggage. Yeah, there's mental health issues there. There's problems on the outside. There's discipline issues. There's training issues. There's ring rust, sure. But none of that matters because he looked as sharp as ever. He made sure that that ring was his ethos. And when he steps in that ring, he left everything, all the stuff that could bring him down psychologically and keep him out of there to perform well. He left that all outside of the ring. And it was actually a sight to behold how accurate he was, how efficiently varied his jab was. Jose Benavidez Jr. had no answers. And then we come to the main event, which stole the show. The main event that's supposed to steal the show, because we had two warriors in that ring. David Benavidez and Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. David the Monster Benavidez and Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. Unbelievable fight. The way David Benavidez maintains pressure is like no other fighter in the sport of boxing, period. It is the reason why when we look at his CompuBox stats average, he has the highest punch connection, period. No other boxer lands more punches per fight, per round, than David Benavidez. He doesn't even have the best defense. He's not in the top 10 in defensive stats in terms of making his opponents miss, in terms of making his opponents miss the jab. He's not, but he still is in the top 10 of having one of the best plus minuses. What does that tell you? This man will continue to come forward and apply pressure. The reason he has one of the best plus minuses is not because he doesn't get hit. The reason he has one of the best plus minuses is because he hits you with too many shots. So much more that they overcome any of the punches that you've landed on him. And once he gets going, he is brutally accurate, which makes it even more dangerous. He's laser accurate. He has immaculate punch selection. Immaculate punch selection. So what David Benavidez did in this fight, and of course, I don't want to toot my own horn, but we're gonna do that for a few, for a little bit right quick, because Boxing Fanatico here, we are on an official 11-fight prediction streak, which is not easy to do. If you think predicting 11 fights is easy because there's two people in there and all you got to do is pick one guy, okay, then you making it a 50-50. I ask you this: grab a coin, any coin you like in the house, flip it 11 times and get it right 11 times in a row. If it's just by chance, get it right 11 times in a row. We break these bad boys down. And what we broke down on Friday for the fight played out to a T. We said that Boo Boo Andrade was going to use his level changing because he is really a master at level changing and has a varied offense from level changing. Because of that Achilles heel that Demetrius Andrade carries, I don't think that his level changing is going to be something that creates pause for David Benavidez, because he doesn't care to get hit as much as the next guy. Most fighters don't even want to get hit, period. So that could create a pause. He doesn't care to get hit. He's going to move forward. So he's going to take that away from just being consistent. It might take him some time, but I do believe that more than likely he'll get the knockout against Demetrius Andrade, because that step back is gonna be overwhelmed by David Benavidez's activity. We also said that if he's in the process of level changing, he can maneuver his way out of punches. However, if he is not, he has this one glaring issue where, for the most part, over 90% of the time, he just steps back or pulls back on the center line. And if there's an aggressive fighter that pushes forward, they're going to be able to catch him. And that's literally what happened when he got dropped in the 4th round by David Benavidez. We also said that Demetrius Andrade gets tired and that David Benavidez never, ever gets tired. He can punch like the small fighters in boxing. His CompuBox stats prove that, as him and Gennady Golovkin are the only two big fighters in a pool of small fighters that punch non-stop. The man is in there with fighters like Juan Francisco Estrada, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. He's not supposed to be on that list. He's too big, but he's on that list. And we knew that there's going to be a fading point with Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, and he was just going to push forward. He was going to be that monster where it's just, it don't stop. The pressure doesn't stop. The punches don't stop, and they're accurate. Because of the way he fights is too awkward, and you can't escape. You can't escape to the left. You can't escape to the right because he's squared up. And then on top of all of that, because he's squared up, the left hand hurts just as much as the right hand. The right hand moves just as fast as the left hand. And then he could throw all of these different bizarre punches where there are multiple uppercuts, and then he turns the uppercut into a hook and does all these things. It's a very difficult thing to deal with. Now, Demetrius Andrade is a warrior, and I'm not going to call what ended up happening being a no mas because he was being battered. I don't call things no mas unless somebody isn't being battered and they're just being outboxed and they decide that they don't want to keep getting outboxed. But clearly, when he was in the corner, he told his trainer to stop it, and his trainer obliged. So he did quit on his stool, but who can blame him? It was too much damage. He was taking too much damage by David Benavidez. Beautiful performance by David Benavidez. This solidifies and cements his position as the only fighter that we want to see Canelo Alvarez fight in May. No one else, just David Benavidez. If Canelo fights anyone else, even Bivol, in my opinion, it will come off as incredibly shady. Canelo, that's it. This is it. The cards are set. You don't have to fight Boo Andrade anymore. You've already fought Caleb Plant, and there is only one person left. The other guy who beat Caleb Plant. The other undefeated Mexican. This will be a super fight, a real super fight. Over 1 million pay-per-view buys guaranteed for this one. David Benavidez. I cannot wait. And if, like I said, if this is not the next Canelo fight, I don't know what's going on in boxing. There's going to be a problem for sure. Especially after such a spectacular performance like that. Nights like last night make you just love the sport. It's so sad that Showtime Boxing doesn't exist anymore because, in my honest opinion, they are the GOATs of this year. They've given us the fights that have captured the imagination of the boxing fans. Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence, a fight that seemed unmakeable for years. Benavidez versus Boo Andrade. Beautiful, beautiful matchups that we've seen. And then this card just lived up to the hype. It was a hype card, and it all lived up to the hype. All right, guys, until the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Of course, we will be live to talk about the fight on Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, as we always do. We go live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 7 p.m. Eastern Time to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, we throw videos out in between. Until next time, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the fight. I sure did. And I'll see you on Monday.